Hello, good evening everyone. My name is Tina Gregoric. I'm professor here at the TU Wien for those who don't know me. And I'm current head of the Institute of Architectural Design. Firstly, I would like to thank everybody here in the audience and of course our guest, Carles Enrich, our current visiting professor, teaching design studio as part of the Institute of Architectural Design. So today we have a very special evening lecture. I think what is very, very crucial is to somehow understand how practice-based approach and approach towards current emergencies and the sensitivity and the radicalness of the Carles Enrich studio, it's something that has been intriguing for me for a very long time. I was very fortunate that through Europan, a very powerful competition tool, which is European-wide, I got to know the project of Carles many years ago. And I was part of the jury giving him the second prize, not the first one. So this led to years long of somehow, let's say, acknowledging each other. We shared some stages. And of course, recently, we spent enormous amount of time together in another international jury of Europan Spain 2 years ago or 1 year ago. So that was an opportunity to speak about what is today really important about architecture, how architecture, cities, histories, time, layers, the existing, how important are these features in the current status quo of our architectural practice. And this led to this invitation that the series of his guest professorship, his lectures all around the world, including Colombia, extensive teaching as associate professor in many schools in Barcelona, where he's native from, led to the invitation that he would join us for this semester as a visiting professor. He's co-teaching together with Elisabetta Schmidtlein, Water Trails Barcelona. And of course, with some other students, many present here tonight, we were fortunate to also share his knowledge and his understanding of city of Barcelona in through depth within the excursion we had just before the Eastern break. What is so important and maybe revealing in today very specific lecture of the studio, how is it called? Timeliness. Okay, I think it's important. I've seen a couple of presentations of Carles. We also invited him to speak only about architectural competitions. So if you're interested about that, that's on our YouTube channel. But what is really, really crucial is somehow to understand and to see how this practice-based approach understand the pre-existing conditions of any place, of any context, and the context of time in which certain temporal changes have been made or will be made for only a certain time to be in use and then changed again. So this kind of change and the pre-existing is like a very, very strong core of the practice that we are going to look into today. What's also interesting and I think intriguing and important to say is that the work of the Carles Enrich studio spans from really small renovations of an apartment in Barcelona to like territorial projects. So it's not only urban design, it's basically dealing with waters, regions and territories, and how the same attention to the detail, to the material, could be thought and sensitivity of each particular task could be kind of delivered through very different tasks in terms of scale and focus. What's also intriguing for us, which we are here most of the time in Vienna, is that Barcelona, it's a completely different city. It's a city that doesn't own additional empty places where new architecture could be done. And that requires or creates conditions in which most of the architects need to be dealing with the existing from that's basically the core of their practice. And I think that's very important to understand that this is how you grew up as a student. This is how I think, but maybe we will discuss that later, as a student of architecture and then as a young practitioner, and then continue with your work further. So just to somehow mention, so all this work of Carles Enrich's studio, this kind of very subtle and radical approaches to the heritage, sometimes to very specific forgotten places, as part of the larger territory of Barcelona and Catalonia, have been recognized from many awards, including Mies van der Rohe and most noted architectural review Emerging Architect of the Year award in 2020. So Carles has extensive knowledge in teaching, obviously, from what I already mentioned, but also spanning in Spanish-speaking country in Mexico and so on. But what is really key is that how you are as a studio presenting and communicating the work that you are doing, which we can see also in the latest El Croquis, which is devoted to a very special form of a social housing, which have been extremely localized, extremely contextualized, and is extremely material and resources conscious, which is based in Balearic Islands. So what could we learn from the scarcity and the limits of a territory, and what could we take from those conditions back to the places on the continent? So I'm very happy that you're opening up the topic of time, the topic of the reuse and the existing, as they are extremely important, and they have been important from many years ago. One could remember Siegfried Gideon's book from early 40s, where actually he was one of the first, as part of this kind of strong tradition of modernism and international style, that the context and time in which certain spaces have been created were fundamental for their understanding. And I think this has been accentuated as in part of the architectural practices, and one of them who is leading European emerging practice in current in Europe. It's, I think, Carles Enrich Studios. So Carles, welcome, and the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Okay, first of all, thanks, Tina, for this absolutely fantastic introduction. I see that you're a friend of mine, so you have said very nice words, but I think that you have resumed our statement as a studio. So I think you have really touched the keys and the issues that I'm going to expose these works today. Actually, we founded the studio 10 years ago, in 2013, so we kind of young studio yet. So also thank Elisabetta and also all the professors of the course and the TU Wien for this invitation for the visiting professor. It's a pleasure and it's very exciting for me. It's a chance, and well, I hope to come back again in the future. Actually, future is the issue for today, for this lecture, timeliness. Timeliness, it's a word that actually it's related to timelines, but actually the meaning of timeliness, it's the fact or quality to happening at the best possible time or at the right time. It means opportunity. No? Timeliness means opportunity. So as I mentioned, we are a young studio. I founded this Carles Enrich studio in 2013 in Barcelona. As Tina mentioned, we started working in renovations of existing apartments, very, very small commissions with a very low budget. Some of them familiar or friend of mine, and then some people that know this word because they saw them published somewhere, okay? But then we had the opportunity to work into a larger scale or a territorial scale, but we always try to keep that eye on the detail, on the domestic scale, on the material, and for us it's very important to understand the territory as a place, not as a plan. In that sense, we understand that our interventions are in a timeline, okay? If we start from the 10th century or even before, and then we go looking through the future, maybe our intervention is not something that happens on one single moment. It's something that takes advantage of the whole period, no? The whole history. So we understand that our work is somewhere between here. It can be invisible because someone in the future will renovate or will reuse our work. We hope that our work will collaborate in this sequence of time, sequence of layers, that we understand that architecture is a sedimentation of layers in history. So for us, this is the most important issue, no? To understand time as a moment, no? And of course, our interventions are in this precise moment, but in the future, they will change and they will be reused by another meaning. These are the four issues or the four topics that we're going to talk. All of them are related to time, okay? The first idea is another place related to reusing the existing, working from the beginning of our studio, working by subtraction, no? By just taking out, just opening and introducing very small elements, no? In order to improve the existing space. Another climate, because this is one of our main issues at this moment, we are really concerned about this in Barcelona, in Spain, in Europe, I would say. Climate change is one of the most important topics that we have to face as architects. So actually, lately we have been commissioned to respond some kind of issues about this thing, no, about climate. And also, actually, we are trying to improve all our projects into this idea of like climate shelters, no? And then the third part will be another scale. Of course, our projects are happening in different places, in different times, in different scales, no? In terms of landscape, history, territory. But what we try to do with that is the same thing that we try to do with the renovation of the houses, try to connect spaces. This is the main thing that we do, connect. And the last part will be another future, because it's the most positive part, to think about the future. Architecture is for the future. Of course, we work with the past, we work with heritage, but our point of view is always the future, no? And this concept of permanently ephemeral, because we believe that all the uses are ephemeral, but architecture has to be permanent, because it has to be reused, has to be something, when we construct something, when we build something, has to be resilient. Okay, so let me start with this. Actually, today, the lecture, I don't know if you've seen some lectures before of our studio, but today is a little bit different. I decided to propose this structure in terms of time, in terms of scale. And I like to start with this project because it's one of our first projects that we did. And as Tina mentioned, we started our practice. We have learned from the renovation of very small apartments in Barcelona with a very small budget and very common people, okay? And this is Barcelona. Some of you just came last month. We had really nice time. These are some of the projects we have been doing or we have in Barcelona at this moment. And in Gracia, we started at the beginning of our career. We had a lot of commissions by just about renovating existing dwellings, no? As this one. This was a existing dwelling. It was a very interesting place, no? In Gracia. This is Ramon y Cajal Street. This is a place that explains the personality of Spanish, of Spanish people or Catalan people, because this is a fantastic place, but it's really fragmented with very small rooms. As you see, this explains the sedimentation of time. No? When a really nice place with a courtyard, it's been like divided, in order to have like small rooms for the kids and small rooms for the studio. We have another approach for that. And we decided, here one of our first commissions to open the space and to improve the relation between the courtyard and the street. So we opened all this of course, with opening wall, these walls. We opened this structure here, and we try even to connect this place, the workshop. Okay, this is a place, it's like a place for a musician where he used to work and live in the same place, no? So we try to improve the idea of like working and having the relation, the connection relation with the street. It's not only the connection, the visual connection, it's the air, no? It's air facilities and of course air ventilation, cross ventilation, and the idea of the house that you are living, of course, in the exterior. No, you can live exterior in Barcelona since March until October or November. Okay, actually, one of the most difficult times or the most difficult seasons is, of course, summer. No, so we did this kind of operations. We started by just opening this new courtyard, opening these spaces, creating a sequence of different spaces, which were not defined by a program, by a domestic program. We just proposed a collection of rooms linked to the exterior spaces, okay? So from the interior, we could see the exterior, we could see the street, no? And then we introduced all the new program of the house, which was a house, but the new program like a storage, or even this new structure for a pergola and a staircase to go up to the garden on the roof. We propose that as a piece of furniture, as a piece of element with a different material from the pre-existent. And this idea of permeability, this idea of sequence, this idea of living in an intermediate place between the exterior, the street, and the courtyard. No? These are some pictures of the place. No? Also, greenery and of course, vegetation is very important for us because it helps to reduce temperature, it creates shadows, creates like a healthy space, a healthy comfort, environmental. And this idea of having a space with of course, placing the kitchen. It's maybe the only thing that we place usually, no? It doesn't move yet. But the rest of the house, it's just an open space, okay? So, as I mentioned, the most important room for us is this, no? It's the exterior room that we improve. We always try to improve these spaces. In this case, with some really light structure, with ropes and like vegetation, no? That has this cover, green cover on summer, and then in winter it permits the sun go through. Okay. With the same idea, with this idea of subtracting and adding, we did quite a lot of competition these last years, no? And we were quite lucky that we won some competition. We are actually building some of the work that we have won over the last years. No? This one was in the center of Barcelona, in the Gothic quarter, no? Gothic district. This place here was a former house, a common housing complex, but it was catalogued as heritage, no? Because it was in front of this Josep Lluís Sert health center. No? This is a very important architect, as you know, Josep Lluís Sert, a Catalan architect. And this place, since it was in front of the famous building, it was catalogued. No? But on the competition, the roof of the competition, they say that this building should be demolished and it should be a new building for a music school, okay? But we had to preserve the main facade. For us, it was something stupid, because if we have to demolish a building and have to maintain a facade like a landmark, we don't really think that's heritage, we don't think that's a good approach. But of course, it doesn't make any sense not to just destroy the building and to just keep one wall, which is quite tall, quite difficult. No? You need a structure to that purpose. So we didn't really believe, or we were really critical with the brief of the competition. They gave us all these plannings that they said that this place was like in danger. No? It was in a in a bad situation and it was going to be demolished, so it had no kind of interest. But then we propose to maintain the 3 facades, which explained the former volume of the housing, and then we decided to maintain some of the structures, of the original structures, in order to keep that 3 facades. And then we, instead of demolishing the whole building and just maintaining the principal facade, we propose like a singular void in the central part, in order to introduce of course, new facilities, staircase, the elevator, bathrooms, etc. No? So at the end, we propose to combine 2 structures. The old structure, no, which is with Catalan vault, ceramics, and metal beams, etc. And then we propose to introduce a wooden structure, a CLT structure, which is a light structure. It doesn't need to increase the foundations of the building, which in Barcelona it's a good thing, because we have in the Gothic center we have a lot of archaeology, so it's a good thing to think about the weight of the buildings, so it's an important issue. And we decided to remove the central part, and we propose all these small boxes that were maybe just supporting this program for a music school, for small classrooms, but in the future it could be taken out, and then we could have these big like spaces, no? This was the main idea of the project. Of course, we had this new staircase that works as a courtyard, and it proves the heating, okay, the air, the cross ventilation. And then another strategy, the second strategy, was to separate a little bit from the street, because since it was a music school and this is a very popular neighborhood and with a lot, we decided to replace or to locate the rooms in this intermediate space. We separated a little bit from the neighbors in order to have not to impact the former structure, and to have some space for facilities. And then this space works as a gallery. It works as a common space, as a street, no, in every floor. So with this strategy of box in a box, working with this idea of putting new boxes, wooden boxes inside a ceramic box, and then obtaining this kind of spaces, these in-between spaces that really transform the building, because they transform a single room into a public space in the building, okay? Of course, reusing the pavement and recovering the walls, the bricks, etc. And then we are very conscious of the heating and the temperature in summer and in winter, and in this Gothic Raval, no? In Raval, there are very narrow streets. You almost cannot have like heating in winter. So we propose to have like a heating roof, no? Like a skylight here, a big skylight, in order to get all this sun heating in winter, in order to reduce the need of heating in the school. Okay, and in summer we shade these glasses here. We shade the skylights. And then since this place is hotter, okay, than this one, air goes up, no, for thermodynamic logic. So it helps, this strategy, it helps to improve the bioclimatic behavior of the building, okay? And these are some images of this top floor. We did a trick here, because this was supposed to be a library, but in Barcelona, in Spain, the regulations are really hard. So a library needs air conditioned and needs a lot of things. And we decided to not call that a library, call that a place to read. Okay, so we do that. We just change names so they cannot say, because a place to read is nothing. It's a place, of course, you have books and you can read, but then we could improve this as a bioclimatic space. So we do that kind of tricks. We really like to do that kind of tricks. And this is the first phase of the building. So we won a competition. We were really happy because they really appreciated this idea of saving the building, because this was going to be demolished. And the first phase, as happens a lot in Barcelona, because in Barcelona you win a competition and then 3 years later you deliver the project, and then 3 years later, if you are lucky, you start the work. And then maybe 3 years later you finish it. So it takes about 6, 7, 8, 9 years. No? You have to be very patient in Barcelona if you want to be an architect. But we have a problem with squatters in Barcelona, no? Because we have a lot of empty buildings, and the squatters, if they get inside, if they spend 1 day or 2 days, I think it's 48 hours, there's no any law that they can be out of there. So for public buildings, it's a really issue. And Barcelona municipality is doing this kind of operation that they call it inhabilitation process, to take out some parts of the building in order to just prepare that for the future works. So actually, this project is about taking out these slabs and these parts of the building, but we could, of course, maintain the main structures and the main facades that we imagined in the competition. Okay. Okay, another project. Now we are moving into another territory outside from Barcelona, an hour from Barcelona. Jorba is a very small town near Igualada. It's about 1 hour from Barcelona in the west. And actually, we had this commission here to make a master plan for the recovery of a castle, an old castle, no? From the 10th, 11th century. This is the place of the strategical place of the castle. This is the whole territory. These points are all castles and towers. And this one, actually, Jorba's castle is very important because it's in a strategical point in order to maintain this, to defend this road, no, that connected Barcelona with Lleida, no. So it has a very historical importance as a strategical point of defense. The castle, as you see, is almost as big as the town, but the town is really small. And then in 2015, when they told us, we're going to see a castle, and then we go and we saw this, a mountain with 4 rocks. Okay, but we really fell in love with this image because this explains time, explains history, explains nature, and we didn't, when we saw when we came here, this is the picture that I took in 2015, the first visit that we did. We decided that we didn't wanted to reconstruct this castle, okay? We were commissioned to do a master plan, and this was the idea of the master plan. The idea was a transition through history, a walk through history. We don't want to reconstruct to get like Disneyland, no? The image of a castle. We just wanted to understand all the layers, all the stages that happened there in this castle, no? From the 10th century until the 19th century. So at the end, the project was just like a road, like a passage, no? Passage through history. Okay? So 2 years later, in 2017, we had the first commission to do the first intervention in this castle. We had the budget a great budget of 30,000 euros, not our salary, for the work. So for 30,000 euros, we had to do something, okay? And then what we did, we thought, okay, we're going to work with the archaeologist, not after the archaeologist, because it's usual to just the archaeologists go and they do the earth movement, they found the structures, and then the architect comes. We decided to work with the archaeologist and to reuse all this material, the earth, no, that was found in this excavation. So when the archaeologists were recovering the castle, we were constructing these platforms in order to improve the accessibility to the castle. So it was really fun because it was no residual material. We didn't drop anything. It was really fun because we just take out the earth and then we put it there, okay? And then we did this excavation and we did this passage to this point, the topmost point of Jorva's castle, with the idea of recovering the point of view. Because for us, our heritage, recovering heritage is not recovering a shape, a form, or a material, is recovering an experience. And this experience is a place like a viewpoint, a place to look to the territory. So after that, of course, after this topography, we introduced these new materials. In this case, it was these boot beams. We cut them in two parts, in 120 centimeters and 60 centimeters. Why? Because we had to bring them, or the constructor had to bring them in the car, because it's very hard to get in here. So we had to think to get some kind of small dimension materials in order to have to place this staircase, no? And then just metal beams and a rope. It's not a handrail, of course. It's just a limit of the road to get to the castle. And all these rocks is some material that we found in the excavation that we left them there for the future, okay? So with these high tech details, and with a lot of energy, a lot of visits, no? And trying to engage the constructor and the promoter and everyone, finally we could do this, no? It was a really minimal work, but for us it's one of our favorite projects, because actually at the end we reached almost the first image. It was almost invisible, the intervention. No? It was just a staircase to allow people to get into the top part. No? So at the end there are 5 parts. No? The first parts, no, are almost underground, are only 60 centimeters. And then we go up, we face the castle, we turn around, and then it amplifies a little bit, okay? And then we go up, and then we finish here, okay? And we finished here in 2017. 2 years later, or 3 years later, sorry, we had the opportunity to continue this project. So this is nice because, this is interesting because we did this master plan in 2015, and then 2017 we did this first intervention, and then 2 or 3 years later we had the opportunity to continue this idea. So at the end, this idea of working in phases, it helps us to think, no? And to improve things and to understand the meaning of time and in our work, or in terms of this heritage. No? In this case we were surprised because in this excavation we found like a structure of an old church. Okay, so at this moment, because there were some kind of important drawings from the 17th century and some interesting, or the archaeologists told us there were some interesting works here, they told us to think about a structure to keep this place from water, okay? We had to, again, redo all the project because we had to maintain on the same budget. We didn't have more money to do this, and we had to invent a roof to try to preserve this place from water. Okay, so then we decided to work again with the materials of the place, with rocks, with earth. We did this cyclopean wall, okay, in order to be very into the budget and not to waste time or waste effort on placing things. No, we just replaced the rocks. We did this wall, no, in order to do this topography, okay. And then we proposed this light cover, this light structure that is reversible, no? In fact, the future, if they don't like it or they need some, or they decide to do something else, it can be taken out because actually it almost doesn't touch the former structure, but it helps to finish this second phase. But actually, it really finishes our first idea that was about this transition through history. And also this structure, it's a landmark, no? It's something that from the distance, you recognize that something has happened there, no? And then you see the former height of the castle, no? And actually, of course, it is a new layer, no? A new layer that explains this new intervention, and it was really precise job, no? By taking care of all these wooden beams in place, and then we placed this polycarbonate cover because of course we didn't have any artificial light, so we had to work with a material that was translucent, no? In order to have light inside to see the painter, and all this material, and then. This place actually is something that we found and then something that we transformed. So it's a new place, another place. This the detail, no, of the pillars that they don't touch, no, the former foundation. And for us, the most important thing about this project, or the most important space, actually is this one, no? Is this one because at the end we finally achieved our goal, which was to relink history with a landscape, no? To recover this point of view. Okay, the second group of projects are dealing with this idea of climate, okay, or bioclimatic shelters that we call. Of course, all the projects could be in different categories, okay? But in this case, this will be very fast because it's almost, we're working on this project like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's quite new, but I wanted to share it with you because it's another kind of intervention. It's an intervention in a public space, in a park, which was planted by these pine trees in the 60s. These trees now are old. This place is quite dry. We have a problem in Barcelona that doesn't rain. So this place, it could be a really like a climatic shelter, but it doesn't work, okay? So we won a competition to transform this place, to improve this place as a climate refuge, okay? This is a name that they are working in Barcelona, in the metropolitan area, with this kind of climate refuge, no? Just improving the environmental condition of an existing place. Okay, so what we do here is to understand the pre-existence, which was this road, no, that like a pedestrian road that was like informal road, okay, and then we just placed like a surface, a platform, of course, by earth movement, and then the most important thing is that we put like a water pan here, no, and it's in the lowest part of the topography, so all the water will come here and will drain here. And then we were going to plant some new species, okay? This is like a evolution of the idea. Now we have only one kind of tree, which is these pines, okay? Then they don't have, they are always with the same kind of shadow all the year. And then since some of them are old, we're going to propose this sequence of changing some trees and introducing this this diversity, okay, diversity of biodiversity and water in order to improve the thermal conditions of this place, no? Understanding that this could be like a climate shelter. But this project also is about understanding to introduce a place into an existing space, okay? And we're working lately with this idea of very defining geometric enclosures, okay? This project that Tina mentioned is a project that we are developing at this moment. It's under construction. It will end maybe in 3 or 4 months, hopefully. It's in Palma de Mallorca. It's really close to the airport, which is a problem in terms of acoustic. It's really close to this road, which is also a problem in terms of acoustic. And the plot was like a shitty plot, no? It was really, really hard, no? So I don't know exactly why we went to this competition, because the conditions were horrible. But this promoter is a very interesting promoter. If you see the last croquis, it's Ibavi. It's one of the most, I think, the best promoters in Spain, maybe in Europe. It's a promoter that is really applying to recover the materials of the traditional materials, working with, of course, these dwellings don't have any kind of heating systems, zero. They are bioclimatic. Because in Mallorca, of course, in Balearic, we have this, the weather, it's even better than in Barcelona, no? Or in Catalonia. And in the summer, of course, it's a chance to fight against, of course, they don't have air conditioning in either, no? So they don't have nothing, just hot water. They don't have anything else. So this is an idea of reducing, trying to go back to the main issues of life, of construction. No? This was the plot. We really liked this place of the plot. This is an old Marès stone, okay? This was a former, I don't know what the name, una cantera, a place to take rock. Quarter, no? Okay. So people take rocks from here to build a lot of buildings in Mallorca as the cathedral, okay? Yeah, we saw this, we understand that we should keep this pre-existence, even if it's the housing, social housing. We think that social housing has to deal, of course, with pre-existence. And then we decided to work with this material, to work with these local bricks, because we don't want to bring bricks from the peninsula, no? from Spain to Mallorca. No? We don't want that the bricks travel by ship or by plane. We just wanted to get the bricks, local bricks, no? Which is a very interesting brick. It's bigger than the Catalan brick. It's this one. It's called H20. Has 20 holes. Okay, easy. And then this is the idea of the project. The project is about placing like a collection of rooms. 10 square meter approximately. They are linked to them. They link it to the different spaces, and then we work with these walls, brick walls, and then we work with these wooden slabs, timber slabs, okay, that were prefabricated inside and then put it really fast. No? So we work with two velocities. No? The bricks is like slow velocity, and then the wood is like prefabricated. No? So we gain a little bit of time. And then this idea of just separating from the party wall and then having these patios, these courtyards, so we could improve this idea of cool space. No? Here, cool in terms of heating, no? in terms of temperature, I mean. So with this idea of just separating, no, from the party walls and creating these things, all the dwellings had to open, had to have windows in the street, because this is not like a regulation dimension for opening windows. We put that for like quality, no? We can go inside. We can, of course, use these patios, but we had to place all the dwellings in the perimeter street. And then as the building grows, it fractions, okay, and then it happens to it allows this kind of terraces. And then this idea of we have 11 dwellings, 5 dwellings on the ground floor, and then this is quite interesting because these dwellings come like this, and then they come like this and this one. So it's some kind of this shape, okay? And then they have this staircase, which is like private staircase for everyone, and it works again as a heat. Like a chimney, no? A chimney, and of course it gets some heat from the good orientation, okay? And then we had this thing because the plot was really bad, and we had to put some kind of inside gallery to put facilities, and we use this to move cool air, okay, and to exchange the air of the dwellings by all this like underground corridor. The dwellings are quite different. This is the typical in the ground floor, which is very simple. Okay, we have all the facilities here and then this courtyard. But then they are all of them, or most of them, are different because they are adapting to the place, to the pre-existence, no? And they have different situations like terrace, and then this one is quite big, has cross ventilation. And then these are some pictures of the construction. Okay, using this local brick. Okay, always trying to improve this idea of like the house that we saw at the beginning, no? This idea of cross ventilation, cross views, and this idea of prefabricated wooden slabs, which help to improve some time, no? So this idea of the technology, no, working, improving the two technologies without any kind, just any kind of nothing, no, just supporting, no, the wood supports wood, no, no metal things, anything, okay, just by its weight. Okay, so yeah, and of course, one of the dwellings will have this surprise, no, in the patio. They will have this rock, which I think is really nice, no, really interesting, because it's geological history, no. So yeah, of course, it's quite narrow, but I think they will try to have. They will find a good place to put a table, and they will, of course, start a good relation with this rock and with the history of the place. Okay, another project. Finishing this second part. It's a house. Actually, it's a single family house in the north of Barcelona, near near the place that we went to see to start the journey, no? In the Turó de la Rovira, in these bunkers. This is the Tres Turons, Turó de la Rovira. This was a former house from the beginning of the 20th century, which had, like, again, this facade was catalogued. But the house was, had a lot of renovations and had a lot of issues that weren't quite interesting, no? So we decided to do this kind of strategy to remove some part of the house, of the new house, or the latest part of the house, to reuse all this material to put them, no, like a sustainable draining material in the courtyard, and to introduce a new structure, a wooden structure again, in order to increase the surface, no, to have more surface. And in between the two structures, the old structure, the heavy structure, the inertia structure, and the light structure, the wooden structure, we had like a patio, a vertical courtyard. We placed the staircase, and we placed all the services and the facilities, the kitchen and the bathrooms. Okay, so at the end, this idea of combining the past and the future, or the past and the present, and the joint. No, it's an empty space that in this case helps to improve the bioclimatic conditions of the house, okay? Because it helps, this hall, it will work like a patio. This hall here helps to improve that all rooms have cross ventilation, which is a very important issue in Barcelona, because in summer it's very hot, a lot of humidity. So opening here and here, we have all rooms, they have cross ventilation. And you have also this situation that when this place is open, all this thing is working as a very singular space, no? Like a big space. This is the main facade, the historical facade, and this is the new facade. No? As you see, the ground floor is like open, wide open to the patio, to the garden. These are some pictures of the interiors. This idea of vegetation again working as a climate conditioner, no? As a climate pergola. Okay. Of course, the pass of time it's always improve the projects. Okay, and going up, no, and taking care of this idea of ventilation, like an Egyptian house that works, no, in vertical. Okay, we have this. This idea of this place, it's like a winter garden, no? A glass house inside the house, that in winter, or yeah, we can close it and then it works like a heat condenser, but in summer we open it and it works everything as a single space. Of course, the new rooms, no, that we had to improve this new floor in order to achieve the surface and the program. We needed more rooms. They are made by wood, no, in order not to increase the weight of the house, no. And this idea of understanding the two situations of the house, no. In winter we have these like compact rooms. In summer we have all this situation here, okay. And then this idea of this greenhouse that works, no, like in winter, no, like a greenhouse, and in summer it works like a chimney. Okay. Okay, so let's move to the to the new to the third part of the lecture, which is another scale. Another scale meaning linking landscapes as well. No, these ideas of understanding. As you see, all the projects are about connecting spaces, no, connecting climates, connecting exterior and interior, connecting past and future. Okay, so in this case, these are actually also a project that we are developing at this moment. Our group visited it from the exterior, no? So we couldn't see anything, but now we have improved a little bit the works. This was a competition that we won 2 years ago. It was a really funny competition because it was the building of a fireman practice tower. Okay, it's a strange typology. Firemen in Catalonia, since there are a lot of fire. Okay, they need a tower that simulates different parts of the buildings, different buildings. So they need a lot of different staircases, a lot of balconies, a lot of different kind of windows. They climb, they jump. Okay, this is a very singular typology. Okay, and this is the place where was supposed to be this tower, this 24-meter tower, 8-floor tower, which is quite big. And the municipality of Barcelona was worried because this place is very, it has a lot of visibility from all the city and from rondas. No? So they did this competition to look for a project that, help the firemen to improve the program, but also was good integrated in the context. For us, the context was not only this building, which we don't like. We can say that, okay, we don't like this building. It's okay. But for us, context, it's far beyond that. It's all these dwellings that are on the other side of the road, but even all these informal buildings in Carmel. So for us, this tower would connect all these situations, no? Would connect with material. We propose to work with bricks, in this case, because bricks is a really nice material. It's cheap. It doesn't need any kind of maintenance. It works well with fire. And then, okay, it's a cool material. It doesn't get warm with heat. No, it's not metal. Okay. So we propose this structure. It's a concrete structure. It has these 8 pillars. And then all this facade, of course, again, we had to improve this with concrete because they need to support a lot of strength from the firemen. So at the end, this was also concrete. We had all these concrete columns, really thin, really 25 centimeters. And this is the idea of the project, to have like an exterior corridor where we would have different staircases that will go up to the top. And then in the center, we have like this cross that allows us these 4 spaces that could allow all kinds of program, all kinds of stairs, platforms, etc. So this place could be removable in the future. No? It's a place that explains that in the future even you can cover all this and you can have like an office here, no? An office or a viewpoint, something different. We always think that this kind of structures, in this case even more because it's a concrete structure, has to be resilient, has to last long, no? Have to think in long term. So in this case, we propose this like heavy structure because they need for the activity. And with this section, which is really nice, really interesting, really crazy, is like a lot of dangers inside the building. Dangers, no? Like 3 stores, jumping, climbing here, going down, like a well inside here, okay? It's really interesting project. And this is, well, actually we won the competition and now we are, we're building this piece, no? And we are now we had some problems or we had some surprise here because in the competition we didn't have this information. They told us that, no, let's go to make a tower. Okay, and here we had a lot of work, no, to improve the foundations of this tower. So that's a trick that they didn't tell us, no, at the beginning. Okay, but we have, I think we have improved that, and now we are already in the second floor. So we are okay, and it's going up, okay? So it's very nice because you can see the future of this, no? The future spaces and this vertical connection, all these small corridors. The firemen are really happy when they go in the site work. No, they think that it really relates to the buildings in Barcelona. In Barcelona, you have buildings in the Gothic center which are very small, with very small corridors, and then big spaces in Eixample. So this tower creates all this kind of situation. So it's a very interesting project. This is the facade. The facade, we work with bricks, and we put them on this side in order to have wind, ventilation, all year. Because at the end, of course, this building won't have any kind of installation, any kind of heating or cooling, nothing. And the firemen work with this lot of clothes, no, in summer. So we needed a building which which breathes, no, which ventilates the whole year. Okay, now. This is a project that is related to our course that we are doing with Elisabetta, water trails. Actually, this is a water trail, Rec Comtal. Actually, this project nowadays, if you look at the newspapers in Barcelona, it's very important because we have a problem with dry season. It didn't rain in Barcelona for the last 3 or 4 months. And ACA, which is the agency of water in Catalonia, is thinking about taking the water from this Rec Comtal to get like a survey of water. Okay, so nowadays Rec Comtal is a really important issue. Rec Comtal was one of the most important infrastructures in Barcelona from the 10th century to the 20th century. These pictures from the 20th century explain this idea of Barcelona 100 years ago, almost nothing, no, in terms of history, almost nothing. Gardens, this industry, water, okay, this idea of mixed use. This place is like this now, okay? The same place. What happened here? What happened? Evolution, no? Evolution of urbanism, cars, streets, demography, okay. Barcelona was, before Eixample, before the Eixample master plan, was just this Gothic, old town surrounded by walls, okay? And then we had all this Gracia, okay, Gracia, Sant Andreu, all these like small towns. And this is Rec Comtal. This is Rec Comtal that connects these different cities and brings water from this point to the center of Barcelona. Eixample was a really interesting solution, no? As you see, it connects different cities, but it doesn't take care of the pre-existence, it doesn't take care of history, it doesn't take care of water. And it overlaid over the Rec Comtal's trace, and Rec Comtal disappeared. All the history, almost 1,000 years of water, disappeared in only 100 years. Okay? So Rec Comtal now, we still have some water here in Vallbona neighborhood, which is this here. We have intervened lately, but Rec Comtal now has disappeared. Okay, now only has this trace here, and all this here is only some kind of archaeological remains, or maybe some traces in the streets. Okay, but nothing related to water. These are some pictures from the beginning of the 20th century. So I'm not talking about the 15th or the 16th century. I'm talking about yesterday. Okay. Actually, Barcelona has lost this opportunity to have a canal, no, in the middle of the city, crossing 11 districts. Okay, now Rec Comtal, the only part that remains is like this, like a residual part, no, like something abandoned. Okay, and these archaeological remains. In 2013, we won our first Europan in Barcelona. Okay, Europan, as Tina mentioned, is a competition for young architects. Usually when you win, you won't have any kind of commission nowadays. No, former you had some commissions to build something nowadays, or at least in Catalonia, in Barcelona. When we win, we have won 3 Europans, we didn't have any kind of commission from the competition. But in this case, we were asked to think about to do something in Recumtal, no? in a point here. That was our prize for Europan after winning the competition. Okay, and then we started to analyze Recumtal, and we decided that Recumtal was not only about a place, an intervention here. Recumtal should be an intervention of the whole city. Okay, and we explained that Recumtal is not an intervention just to recover like an archaeological site or a place. We have to recover Recumtal as a heritage resource, no, water. We have to reintroduce water in the city, or at least reintroduce the permeable conditions of the public space. And then we localize these 25 at the beginning possible situations where we could introduce all these kind of strategical environmental conditions, no? As you see, crossed by these water streams. This was 2015, almost 8 years ago. Yeah. So we have these different situations. When we still have water, we can improve all this kind of nice place with animals, okay, improve the conditions. And then when we already don't have water, but we still have the trace, we could improve this as just a trace, no, a permeable trace. And then in the center of Barcelona, maybe it's only a pavement, okay, but pavement it allows no water. So we propose to have this kind of a strategy in order to understand this continuity of Recumtal and to allow people to cross through all these neighborhoods and to reconnect the center of Barcelona with Vallbona, which is the poorest neighborhood in the city. No one cares about Vallbona. Nowadays, yes, because of Recumtal, but it's almost outside the city, no? So this was like the master plan. After that, one thing about our studio is that sometimes we invent a lot of projects. We invent a lot of work. When we win a competition, we change the idea of the competition. When we had a commission, we try to change the commission. And I don't know why, but we happened to finally receive this commission of a master plan. We were only supposed to do a commission for a single place, like a park, and then we were asked to do this master plan. Okay, but this master plan took almost 5 years. And then last year, we had the first commission of doing an intervention in the Recumtal, no? An intervention exactly in the Recumtal. And Recumtal, in this place, is like an abandoned space, no? It's like residual, people even were swimming here, and then some kids were trapped inside, and there was some kind of issues, social issues, no? And then they asked us to think about some kind of intervention that would keep people from water, okay, in order to preserve the water, but also for security reasons. So we decided to work with this idea of 2 points that were, for us, there was this pilot intervention for the rest of Recumtal, 2 points that were like landscape points, that were like also like viewpoints. These were the places where you could see the water. You could be in front, no, outside the water, you could see the water. And in all this road, we would plant a lot of vegetation in order to improve the quality of water, to make shadow, to reduce the temperature. Okay, so these are the points where you can be in touch or you can connect with water, and the rest is just nature. Okay, so we have to start thinking that people cannot be anywhere, and we have to separate nature, or we have to define which is the place for people, which is the place for nature, because nature at the end is our future, no? It's our claimant. Okay, so this is the first intervention, metal, in this case metal, because we needed something that was strong and no maintenance. Of course, we improved all this situation here, as you see, a lot of new animals and a lot of good new plants that improve the quality of water. Okay, so we have this place that works as a new public space. Actually, it's really good. People really go there, and then they are like familiarized with these new points of Recumtal. And then on the other side, we had this problem that we had like an infrastructure, existing infrastructure that was overlaid on the Recumtal. So we decided to place our structure with like another overlay, no? in front of this structure. No? We place our structure over this, okay? So we do like a balcony over Recumtal, no? The commission was a handrail, and we proposed this idea of balcony, okay? And it is a balcony, of course, that it's related, of course, with the context, and well, you can see, and you can enjoy water, and you can enjoy the biodiversity of the place. And these are pictures from last Sunday that I went with my family, and this place now is fantastic. We have planted all these species here, which are really good because they kept people from water, and really are working as this idea of, we introduce some kind of species, new species of fishes, and then of course working with biologists and specialists. We don't know anything about fishes, sorry, but I have to say that we don't know. We know about bricks, but we don't know about fishes yet. I think it's more interesting the fish than the brick, but okay. So this is quite nice when you see that the work 1 year later or some months later is starting to have their own life. Okay, now this project, the Tower of Merola, okay, this was, I think now I already explained everything. Okay, we can just pass the images, and I think I already explained the main ideas of our statement of our work. This project is the same idea of the lookaways in Recumtal, okay, but with another condition. The condition is that this was an old tower from the 13th century. This has the toppest catalog definition of heritage in Spain, okay, and in 2015, it was about to fall down, okay? This tower had suffered a lot of earthquakes in this place, okay? Actually, 1 year later, in 2016, was about to be disappeared. So the municipality of Puig-reig, which is a very small municipality, asked the Heritage Council, which is our client, to think a structure to improve or to maintain this wall. Okay, the commission was just to maintain this wall, exactly. So when we went to the engineers, okay, they said, yeah, we have a wind problem here, so we can do something like that. Just some cables, some structures, no, just to do almost nothing, but you can stabilize the structure. We thought it was an opportunity to do something else. It was an opportunity to recover the experience again of the tower, the experience of getting to a high position, getting linked to the landscape, getting in touch with heritage and history. And then we proposed, with the help of the archaeologists that did this nice work of excavation, and then we saw the plan of the tower, which is very small, 3 per 5 meters. We proposed to recover the new structure with these 14 centimeter pillars, columns, wooden columns, okay, that would recover the original trace of the tower, and they were allowed to place a staircase that was for maintenance reasons. We said it was for maintenance reasons, but the true it was for tourist visions or for experience, not just to climb to the high part. Okay. Okay. So this tower again is the same idea as the other projects. It's the pre-existence and the new structure, which is a light structure with another kind of another technique. And in the middle, there's a void space where we place a staircase. No, we wanted to maintain this idea of the tower, of the rune, because it was really really powerful. So we didn't want to reconstruct the tower. We wanted to add another structure which clearly is different, but it's related to another thing. It's related maybe, of course, to these original levels, but it's not related. It's related to another technique. But we had to do all this work of placing or overlaying these two structures, which was very interesting. No, when you have this structure from the 13th century, and then you add another very clear and great structure, and really matches everything. No, so when they built this, they knew what they were doing, no? Okay, and then we place this staircase inside, and then we have these 14 points that help to stabilize between the two structures. Of course, if there's another earthquake or another thing, maybe it will fall down everything. But in terms of wind, I think we are safe at this moment. Okay. For us, the recovering of the tower, it's not only the tower itself, it was not only the monument, it was the whole place. It was the experience of getting through the tower, getting up, and getting linked to the landscape. This is the most important part of the project, sorry. And again, we wanted to recover, to maintain the original surface, and we wanted to maintain this vision from the exterior, okay? These are some images of the process. Okay, I'm going to pass through quite fast because I think we have to end the lecture in a short time. But it was really interesting, again, because of this combination of the prefabricated structure and working with a pre-existing structure in this case. No? We were quite lucky because everything matched at the end. It was really, really amazing, no? Because it was, we didn't have a measure, we had a drawn vision, and we just draw these plans with CAD, and then everything matched at the end. Everything matched, okay? Everything we reached the original levels, and this is an image of the work, okay? As you see, of course, it's clearly this break here, and then you see the staircase here. It's really transparent, really permeable. We left all the material that we found in the excavation here, no, to make like a border of the intervention. We didn't want to waste this material. This is the original material of the water, so of the tower, so it explains the demolition. So it's nice to be shown. And then we go up, okay? This is very important because we did the same dimension of the original wall, stone wall, but with a very light column, so we can be inside the former wall. This is a very powerful experience that you are inside the wall, inside this empty space where it was like a stone wall, no? 1,000 years ago. And then this relation between all these landmarks, no, that relate history with landscape, this idea of the staircase, that you have a physical connection with the tower. We believe that heritage, you have to touch heritage. Heritage is not something that you have to see, like in a museum. Heritage is something that you have to live, something that you have to touch, you have to experience. So for us, it was very important to touch this tower, okay? And then we go to the top floor, and then we finally reach this view, which is the most important image of the project. Okay, so yeah, and the architecture interventions, when they happen to be rooted, no, in the landscape and in the life, it's really grateful. The last part of the lecture is the future, no, another future. 3 projects that explain the idea of future, no, of the idea of permanently ephemeral. Why? Because all these projects, we didn't know what's going to happen in the future, or it changed everything and then we had to improve another thing, okay? This is a competition that we won 2 years ago, now that we are developing at this moment. This is a competition for a temporal market in Barcelona. In Barcelona, when the historical markets are going to be refurbished, they relocate all the stores, the food stores, in a temporal structure. This temporal structure usually is just replaced when it finished its life. No? We decided to place, okay, this was a plan of the project in a very difficult plot, but for us we wanted to propose another thing. We wanted to propose a structure that would be resilient, that would maintain there. So we worked with 2 structures. A wooden structure that would be like the roof, no, the roof for this market, and then all this, everything that they needed for logic, storage, office, etc. No, everything. But for us, the project is this. It's not the market. It's this structure. So now we are building this, but we're thinking that in the future, hopefully, we had this structure. So we had like another climate shelter, no, in Horta district. No? So this idea of thinking further what we are asked in a competition or in a commission, no? With this idea. With this idea, with this attitude, we faced this project. This project actually is the first project that we won, the first competition that we won in Barcelona in 2017. We were very young. We won this competition. We thought that we were going to be famous or we were going to be rich. Nothing, of course. Of course. But we were very young, and it was a trap. In Barcelona, municipality is a trap. You win a competition, and they keep you 5 or 6 years drawing, and then nothing happens, okay? And what happened here? Okay, this place, this is in Vallcarca. Vallcarca is a very interesting neighborhood in Barcelona, in the top of the hill, almost in the Parc Güell, almost. And it was a former second residence house with a lot of gardens, topography, very interesting. In 1911, this new connection, this new infrastructure that connected Puigset with Vallcarca started to transform the neighborhood, okay? Started to transform, as you see, this connection that is interesting in terms of urbanism. It's the beginning of the idea of losing the water in Rec Comtal, the idea of connection through mobility, through cars, okay? But look at what happened here, okay? So this house that was from the beginning of the 20th century was trapped, was like buried, no, by this infrastructure. And also this infrastructure created some problems, some issues between the connections of the different streets in Vallcarca. Actually, now from this street and to this, there's a level, like a jump of 8 meters. So people have to go through like a tour to get up. The competition was only about to try to refurbish, to renovate this place, to transform it into a social center. Okay, this was the competition. This was the place of the competition. Yeah, we don't really like this street because it's a very small place for pedestrians, like a lot of space for cars. Okay. And so we didn't really like the entrance, the main entrance of this palace. We saw the project from the other side. I would recommend to do that because you have to see things from the other side because we were the only ones in the competition that we saw this opportunity. We saw an opportunity that this is the project, okay? We saw an opportunity to improve a connection between this point through the new intervention in order to reconnect with the bridge. Okay, so we saw an opportunity to replace this wall here, go through here, and then take advantage of this situation of the new building, okay, that we were on the competition. And then with this drawing, we won the competition, okay, and we developed the project, 2 or 3 years developing the project. It was not a big project, as you see, but for us, it was our first public project. The idea of the former house with bricks and stone, a lot of inertia, an idea of a lighter structure which has no specific program, just multi-purpose uses. And in the middle, again, the idea of the connection, okay? This idea, of course, of taking care of the layers, history, blah, 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 okay. 2020, March 2020. We were about to start the project, the building. We were about to construct, March 2020. I don't know if you remember, there was a world pandemic, and we never started the project. Actually, they called us and they say, okay, we have to, we have to relocate this investment for this project to another thing, which is, of course, it's more urgent. And now you have to do something with this. with only 10% of the budget. You have to do something because we have to start, think about a first phase, do like a demolition, do something because we have a problem, of course, with the squatters. We don't want this house to be, we have to do something, please. Okay, let's go to the office, let's go to the studio, we think, okay, we're going to improve the project. We're going to, because we didn't really like the project of 2017. We didn't really like that project because it was a project, a collection of small rooms, air conditioned, heating. We don't like that kind of projects anymore. So we propose this. We propose this, nothing, almost nothing. Just take care of this place, reinforce the roof, do the internal demolition because the pre-existing structure was in very bad condition, and of course do this connection. This is the project. We don't care about the new, who needs another building? No? Who needs another building? We need this connection because it really improves the city. So this is the project, and we proposed that, and they bought us. They bought this idea because it was this or nothing. No? So we did this. And this is I think this is the most interesting idea. We had this situation, and we proposed to have like a place that would be open to the gardens, because we were going to do a garden. It was a public garden. In fact, this house, this place, was a private place because it's a palace of a former artist. So we were going to transform all this situation here into a public space, and then the house itself would be like a shelter, like a climate shelter, okay, for any uses, but related to the garden. So we go from this situation of the former building, this situation of the competition, which as you see was very complicated, etc. And then this is, oh, yeah, like this is the project. When we saw that, we saw, okay, that's the project, let's do that. And then we did that. We started to deconstruct. We like to deconstruct. Of course, we'll reuse all these rooms for drains and for pavements, etc. Okay, but we recovered the original place, the original palace, from all these additions, not from the 20th century. 20th century, maybe it's the worst century in history. 20th century. I am starting to imagine this. Okay, we're just to uncover the whole place, to replace all these interior structures. Of course, we had to improve a new structure and improve all these new perimeter walls in order to have like a great perimeter structure. But this was a really interesting process, and the result is really powerful. We also recovered this porch as an exterior space. Everything is exterior, and this is the idea. This is what we call Canal Junyent 2.0, or we call space Canal Junyent, or post-pandemic temple. We have a lot of names for this project because for us we don't know how to call this, and that's important because it's not a social center, it's not a garden, it's everything. Everyone can use it as they want. Okay. So yeah, this is the idea and the scars of the project, and this is very nice. No, we recovered all this place, and then we put some fences here, no, in order to keep some kind of security, no, at night. Okay. So yeah, some images of possible occupations of this place. Actually, now we are working on the improvement of the gardens. So in 6 months or something like that, we are very slow in Barcelona, but in 6 or 7 months we will have this place with activity, I hope. Okay. Yeah. So now, yeah, we're moving to the last project of the night. Hope you're not tired. Sorry that I speak a lot, and since English is not my mother language, so for me it's difficult to find the right words. But the last project of the night, actually it's a history of projects, no? Because Gironella, it's a municipality that's also in the north of Catalonia, 1 hour from Barcelona. Gironella had this evolution that is separated from Llobregat River. No? It has a good relation with the river, but it's separated. This is the former part of Gironella. It's in the top of the hill. It's about 20 meters, no, from the river. This is some industries from the 19th century, and this is the modern part that just was connected with the main road. Okay, so this place, the old town of Gironella, was being depopulated. No, I don't know. Depopulated is depopulated. Okay, sorry, because for the accessibility problems. Okay, people really, all the facilities, all the new buildings were in this part of Gironella, in the new part. And the old part was being only like an amusement park, no? Like, something beautiful, but without any kind of new uses. So the mayor of Gironella asked us to study how to place a public elevator in this context. For us, this was 2013. So it was also one of our first projects. It was a really chance because a public elevator in this heritage context, it was quite difficult. Actually, the mayor wanted to have the elevator here. Why? Because this is his town hall, no? So he wanted, no, just to be there with the elevator, no? Okay, but we thought the opportunity of elevator could achieve something else. Heritage. For us, heritage is not only this monumental or medieval part. For us, this is also heritage. This is industrial heritage. The informal heritage is very important, okay, for us. And also this is heritage, no, the natural heritage. So with all of these elements, we propose that the project, again, was not about where to put the elevator in the town hall. No, it was about to recover this place. This place was a former passage that connected the town of Gironella with the industries. And this place is in the river, it's a fantastic place. It was abandoned, it was a residual place. Even this illegal storage place was located here, abandoned, okay? So we proposed that was the place for the project. We relocated the elevator from this situation to this situation. With this movement, we provoke movement, we provoke dynamics, we provoke that people have to walk a little bit until here. So it reactivates all this space. Okay. Also, this situation was strategical because it was in the center of the big plaza. So it was the precise position for the new elevator. And the elevator connected, again, the different parts of history. It has this dialogue between the past and the past, more modern. Okay. And for us, this is the most important drawing because the elevator should improve all this public space, okay? These two public spaces. The elevator has two materials, and this section explains the change of the material. The first 8 meters are glassed facade because for security reasons and also to be more engaged to the context and to have more relation with the public space, and also the former wall. And from the 8 meters to the top, 24 meters, are brick wall with any kind of maintenance. We don't want to have a glass elevator because we thought it would be dirty, it would be hot, it would have a reflection from the other side. So we proposed this idea of having two materials and having this structure here that wouldn't almost need any kind of maintenance on all these years. Okay, and also another thing, an important thing, that the mayor wanted to have like a viewpoint here, no, a panoramic view. He told us, no, we want an elevator with a panoramic view. You told him, okay, the panoramic view you already have it from the top. What we are going to do, we're going to open the elevator to the wall. So you're going to see the wall, which it's important because you never have that close relation with this wall, okay? And then, of course, when you arrive here, you see the river, and from here you have the panoramic view that you wanted. You have everything. We tell them, you have everything, don't worry. This is the structure. Since we place this material, okay, this is a very local, very easy, very cheap material, like this. It allows wind through, so it doesn't have impact. So we could achieve a very thin structure, 8 centimeter structure, which is very light, and then of course glass, no, in the bottom, and then with all these materials, of course, trees and also the rocks, we enclose these 3 facades, no, maintaining this idea relation with the pre-existence, And then with a very easy details, we construct this tower, this elevator. No? The first part is, again, I think most of the projects are the same idea, combining prefabricated parts with artisanal parts. So this is a prefabricated part, okay, prefabricated logics with, they did this in 2 or 3 days, and then started to put the bricks, and at this moment, the people from Gironella, the inhabitants, asked me, when are you going to finish this tower? And I said, it's already finished. This is like this, it's already finished. Oh, okay. They thought that we were going to paint it or to do something. No, it's already finished, and it's great because it's great from the first day until now. It doesn't need anything, any kind of maintenance, anything. So, yeah, with this idea of permeability, with this idea of having like a transparent view from here, but this kind of relation between the different tower and different material, and also understand this tower as a party wall, no? Another party wall, we have placed here, and it creates a new public space, okay? A new public space that worked and improved, it really improved, it achieved the goal, the main goal, which was to reconnect these two situations. And a proof of that is that after this commission, after this work, we had 2 more commissions in Gironella. The first commission was on here, was to improve all this place, which was horrible, no, former horrible place. But the other commission was to improve a place in the uptown, no, in the old center. So for us, it's important that this elevator has achieved the idea of connecting these two situations and starting a recovery, social recovery of the 2 parts of the city. So the other commission was about to reuse this place, a former church which was unused, into a social center or into a cultural center. This church, I'm going to go really fast, this church was transformed over the years. It was a house, it was a factory, a restaurant, and in the 80s, the municipality of Catalonia did like an intervention to replace a facade and to place like a curtain wall here, okay? And this place was like a storage room for the mayor of Gironella. It was a fantastic place, but was unused. It had problems of accessibility, it had some stairs and didn't have any kind of service, no bathroom, so they couldn't use it for anything. The commission was to reuse this place with a very small budget, but to try to take advantage of everything, even this horrible curtain wall. No? We try to understand that this could be something else. Okay? So with this attitude, we uncovered everything. We took out, of course, all these storage things, etc. We took out all these translucent walls. We improved the structure. Okay? We improved the structure. We did more columns, metal columns, in order to put good glass, transparent glass walls, no? And to improve climate conditions. And then with these 3 interventions, of course, this box is like a bathroom, okay? So it can be, it works as a concert room or a theater, or it works with different uses. It's a really interesting place. We did this idea, no? We did this project, but for us the project, again, it's the connection between the street, the public space, and the interior, the connection between the public space and the heritage, history and the future, no? Again, so from the street we can enjoy the heritage, we can enjoy the space, we can enjoy the activity, and from the activity we can enjoy the space and we can interact with the neighbors, no? This is the second facade of the house, of the church. Okay. So the other project, okay, the other project that we were commissioned after this project, that I think that it already changed, no, a little bit the street and the thing. It's been allowed, no, it's accessible and it has a lot of activities. The last project for tonight and the other project that we were commissioned in Gironella was the recovery of this path that took that connected the elevator with the old bridge. Okay, for that commission, we decided to work with reusing these old stones, pavement, okay, that were located in a municipality storage place. We placed them without any kind of joints, so we could let the water pass and the vegetation as well. And we decided to put all these banks here in order to allow this proximity between the inhabitants and the river, no? Because as you remember before, there was some kind of distance between the river and the people, no? So with this idea of this light handrail, is this here, it's almost invisible, we transform this place into this, no? So this place actually is being rooted, no, into Gironella's history. It has a place that changes with years, changes with seasons. It's an indeterminate space as well. People use it as different things. It facilitates the connection with water. It improves connection with elevator. And the most important thing is this, is that people have transformed this place into another thing, into another future, into another place. They have transformed a former residual place, a fantastic place that no one really cared 10 years ago, into a place that they settled a festival, they settled a new life, they settled a lot of good things for the city, no? And this is the last image of tonight. It actually explains this idea of a small intervention that could be in a house, in a renovation, or in a public space, or in a territory. It can transform. And this idea of sequence, this idea of time, this idea of how a very small intervention that can connect the past with the future. Thank you.
Carlos. It was intriguing to see this particular lecture. Thank you for all this energy to somehow persuade the background thinking and the narratives in which you somehow uncovered so many potentials and so many memories in all these projects that we have seen. I have tons of thoughts and tons of questions. It's very late. Thank you for sustaining such a long but intense and beautiful lecture. I'm very grateful that you, through the presentation of this unique project, that you showed in depth something that we have been discussing here intensively, how to read the context and what are all the layers of reading the context, and also the positions of reading the context, and how the context actually expands from the immediate reading of the place in which you are asked to do the intervention. I think that was something that I hope the TU Wien community, the faculty and the students will really take away from that. Of course, obviously you became an expert in towers and an expert in somehow twisting the brief from what it was asked to what it was there. But of course, what it was so obvious that you don't know what you are going to propose at the beginning. This kind of uncovering and reading, it becomes the driving force for a creative intervention. And I think that's what it makes all these projects unique. However, they feel like they've been there for 1,000 years. But they are so unique and so non-generic at the same time. And I think it's also another thing which I was very grateful for this particular lecture, because I've seen a couple of your lectures, it's that you really showed also not the process of the creating and uncovering and reading, but also the process in which what kind of tools, materials, techniques, prefabrication, and craftsmanship, and how to connect these two, of course, within this kind of very limited framework of scarcity of resources and scarcity of budget, which is actually the very unique and specific, unfortunate, but also fortunate condition that you are operating with. So yeah, with this kind of my reading of what it was there, I would like maybe also Elisabetta for a comment, and then any comment from the students, teachers, colleagues, or question to Carlos.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank, to say thank you to Carlos and also to Tina to make possible this lecture, but also the work with the students. And I'm very happy that you are here now and you can see the projects of Carlos. And for me, it was really interesting in the lecture when you said that you are also not recovering only the material, but also the experience, like nature or the view on the landscape, and that you're also working together with biologists or archaeologists, and this is very interesting, and it's I think that we have to work in this holistic way in architecture. Yeah.
Maybe some comment.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you for thank you for the comment. For us, experience it's powerful because at the end we think heritage is memory. It's not material. Okay, so heritage is what we have in the head. No, heritage are experience, are places we have been, trips, movies. No, so everything is that's our heritage, or that's my heritage. No. So in this case of recovering a place, which maybe we don't need a castle at this moment, no? We don't need a castle. But maybe we need an experience to go up, like an excursion, and to have this experience to recover this point of view, to understand the history of the castle. You don't need to construct the whole structure. You just need to create the conditions in order to achieve this situation. This is what we did in Jorba. I think that also almost not now, not the latest projects, but the first projects or these heritage projects. I think that something that helps is that they don't have a lot of budget. So at the end we propose that, and they say okay. So because there's nothing else, no. And this is all of them are European help, no, fees, no, and so they are quite fast. So. And the other question was about working with biologists and archaeologists, and I think we like to do that because we learn from them, of course. We take a lot of ideas from their knowledge, and then we are like building like a team together. No, when we go to a competition that in Barcelona they ask for everyone, no, for an acoustic engineer, for a biologist. We already have our team because. Actually, there's a very interesting guy who we met him 1 year ago, and now we call him for all the competitions. He's a specialist in wildlife in the city. Wildlife, yeah. Also a specialist in birds and in insects, etc. But it's very interesting because I think that's the future, no? That's the future to try to preserve these small places in towns that. Barcelona, you know, that is a very dense city. We don't have that much of greenery, so we have to protect that.
Great. Finally, an opportunity for a comment, question. Students, teachers.
Sorry that I for me it's difficult to maintain. Eva and Kathy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the lecture. I'm really impressed how you. I'm really impressed how you managed to finish all this project also in such a radical way, I think. For example, this tower that the commission was to just fix it statically. You have this staircase that you said it's like a for service staircase, and how you managed to open it for public, or is it open for public?
Well, actually. We have a problem. I have to tell you that when we finish this kind of interventions in the forest or in Jorba, since we are not, we have to improve that. We are not related to the municipality. 2 or 3 years later, this is a public tower, of course, but the first step you need to unlock. There's a lock, no, to replace the first staircase.
Flight of stairs.
The flight, exactly. But when we were doing this project and proposing this for even for keeping it safe from vandalism, etc., they told us that they were going every week or every Sunday or Saturday to open it and to be like exposed to public, no? But they don't do it at the end. So I know people who climb to go to the tower, to the first floor, and then you have the staircase. But the problem with this kind of interventions is the maintenance. Maintenance is different to maintain a brick wall. We try to use materials, not always, but we try when we can to use materials that they don't need too much maintenance. But I think that the buildings need maintenance because you need to clean, you need to repair, you need to do something. If you don't care about that, it's going to be abandoned again.
But I think the question was also in these terms that, you know, the stairs there, they don't see according to the code for public stairs.
Exactly.
How do you allow public to enter into the service stairs? They might be dangerous.
Good question. Yeah, they might be dangerous. They are not dangerous, I assure you, because now they have a handrail, a very light, but because it's not a building, it's a monument. So in Spanish regulations, the monuments are out of this regulation for like a house or there's different. But we have, as I mentioned, we do a lot of work trying to change names or invent places to skip regulations. Okay, this I really enjoy when we
we see.
when we achieve that, it's like, well, okay.
No, I'm really impressed, but I wonder if the municipality then, opens it really for the public. That's my question.
I think that we did a mistake by placing this first staircase. We didn't do that. We didn't have to do that because at the end, we should be more. We should trust people that they won't jump or they won't do anything wrong. So. Sure. Of course. So that was a mistake. I think it was a mistake.
Okay. Jakob? Okay.
Jorva's Castle, for instance, is open as a public space. It's open. But they placed like a security camera. Because
and probably a plate, which is very normal, you're on your own.
Because the teenagers went up, because as you see, it's a very nice place, and then they do botellón, no? Like drink, and there was a problem, and they decided to put some cameras there.
Okay. So we have two more questions, so please.
Yeah, I got a question for the same project. It seemed like there were a lot of columns. What was this really necessary? Like
which project? The tower.
The tower, yeah.
Which tower?
The first one.
The Marola Tower.
The first one with the stairs.
It was, if it was necessary.
Because it seemed like
we tried to dimension a structure which was kind of regulated, no, had this own rim, and then this project started with a metal structure, and then with 3 columns, and then maybe there are 14 columns, I don't know. But we started to work in order to achieve a good dimension that could repeat and could improve the corners, everything. So with this dimension, I mean, also the columns, we wanted to achieve really thin columns. And then of course, we needed to have this 70 centimeter path, which was the formal wall. So at the end, it was even this idea of having a lot of columns to have like a protection facade, no?
But basically, you create a volume. You know,
okay, we create a volume. Exactly.
Structure actually creates the volume in itself, and I think it's an important question.
Yeah.
Jakob?
Works. Thank you, Carlos. I was wondering about this thing about achieving more by doing less, and it's very apparent, I feel, in your work. And I think we all do perhaps feel in this moment a historical shift, perhaps, where we had this maybe idea of doing more and getting less, and now we're doing less and trying to get more in some ways. And you said a lot about, maybe between the lines, about this idea of why you actually believe in this and the projects are developing in this way. And I suppose the question is specifically asking about, or to comment on that aspect of doing less and getting more, or what your thoughts are about that. Because I think in the villa, I think it was very powerful, no, to have the project 2017, and then in the end it was, you know, basically just the shell and everything that was inside. So maybe you could elaborate on that, on this maybe position of doing less and giving more.
The title of this lecture, it was timeliness, no? Timeliness, we didn't know this word 2 weeks ago. We work in an exposition in Paris. We're working in this idea of these projects, like explaining the timelines of every project and the precise moment that we are intervening in a moment of time, and understanding that this moment is going to change the course of time, no? of this element. And then we came to this word, timeliness, because it means to be on that precise moment, no? It also means opportunity in Spanish. We saw the translation, that's opportunity. For us, almost all the projects have different opportunities. And you mentioned, Tina, that sometimes we don't know what's going to happen when we start a project, and we don't know what we're going to do, or then we know something, and then 2 years or 3 years later, we try to change the rules, no? I don't know, I think maybe that's our attitude, I don't know, but I think that it's the sense of time, because at least in Barcelona, we have a lot of problems trying to accomplish the works, the projects. Everything is very tough, very difficult. It's like a tough road. So with this kind of ideas, these kind of interventions, we didn't plan to do that, but we feel that the client or the public client in these cases are comfortable with that, because they don't spend much money and they can achieve something which is maybe open and recover some gardens, no? It's better to have these public gardens than to have a building itself closed that you cannot use it, no? So I think it's more about trying to understand what does the city, or what do we really need in that situation. And sometimes, as I mentioned, the building is not the answer, sometimes.
But I think it's obvious that today we are in this kind of the shift of our practice, but that we want to do less, or we want to create a lot with limited means. But what I noticed spending time now in Barcelona, and also being able with some of the students visiting this radical project of emptiness, empty villa, that it's different starting point, no? Because in richer public spheres of European countries and European cities, that what you asked, it's the deliberate attitude, and actually in Catalonia, it actually starts from the scarcity of the budget at the beginning. So, you know, the issues and the questions were not ecological, basically per se, like this is how I see it. Maybe I'm totally wrong, like 7 years ago, but they were always present, the issues of the budget and how to deal with a lot of heritage, with a lot of public space, and of course with all the history of the importance of public space in Barcelona and this kind of density. But so how I think it occurred in your work as an outcome of your attitudes, but also of the conditions in which these municipalities and communities were dealing with. But nowadays, actually, it represents what we would wish to do also in places that there is more budget. But if we use more budget, we use more energy and more resources. So I think maybe here could be a starting point for another lecture.
Yeah.
This is what
I think budget is not bad. I'm not saying that budget is bad. I'm saying that our reality, since we were started, now the projects that we are developing, they have more budget because they come from bigger competitions, okay? But we face them with the same attitude. We try to improve everything, to do as much as we can. We like to extend, as you saw, no? Extend the place, the site, the projects. We understand that even if it's a tower, it's not only the plan of the tower itself, it's the whole situation, the landscape. So I think that this is maybe different, that differentiates this from other studios, that maybe they are really good building that tower. Maybe it could be better, the best tower, but maybe what we can apport is this idea of context and this idea of understanding this place as a sequence, the tower as a passage, not as an object. So this is maybe the difference. Thank you.
Fascinating lecture. I always wonder what drives architects personally, and of course we learn a lot about what you strive for in your project. But what drove you to the point founding this office at such an early point in your life? Was there a major point generally that you were missing in other architects, and where you said
in our office? In our office, you mentioned.
Yes, you personally.
Can you explain a little bit more the question?
Yeah, so when you found when you created your office?
2013.
You were 33.
Yeah, I mean, we're not that young. I mean, no. People start, no. I mean, people start 25, 26, 27. Not now, but.
I was 29.
Well, okay. but before 30s. That's not true. Okay, we started in 2019. I started with another partner. I had a partner, and we did some houses. And then the crisis in 2009 just broke this company, and then I just kept by myself over 2 or 3 years. We didn't have any work, zero, nothing, just a renovation of an apartment, of a place. And then in 2013, we won the first European in Barcelona, and then I decided to create or to fund this office with 2 students. It was me and 2 students at that moment. No? It was the beginning. And then we were into some competitions. I was teaching, I didn't mention that. I started to teach in 2007, so I was teaching in different universities, and then I started to being involved in. We were very successful in the competitions at the beginning. Now we don't have too much luck at this nowadays, but at the beginning we won a lot of competitions in Barcelona and in the surroundings. And then since also we won some awards, which is good for it's a push, no, for the practice. And we were published in some magazines, and people saw us. I mean, this is the normal thing, no, that happens, and that gives you some more commissions. So at the end.
So why didn't you go to work for another office?
That's the question. I didn't understand.
What was the major point?
No, I also worked. I worked. Yeah. I started to work with other architects, of course. Yeah.
But what drove you to do your own office?
Yeah, maybe it was, I don't know, ego. I don't know, because maybe I needed to do something by myself. As I mentioned, when I finished the studies, I was working in another office with another architects, and then in the afternoons, me and my friend, or my friend and I, were doing these housing programs and competitions, and then we built 2 houses. And then we broke, no, in 2009. And then I just couldn't came back to the office, to the former office. I just decided to just go by myself and then to found this studio. I don't know. Good luck. Thank you. I really am a friend of this mayor. This is he's a very clever guy. Thanks to him, we could do all these things. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Is the communication always so easy, or do you have a frame to?
We fail a lot. Today, we explain here the highlights, no? And of course, I like to be positive and explain, but we have failed a lot, and we have learned from failure. And it really gets me mad when a project we cannot achieve our ideas, or we have a client who doesn't understand, or we think that he doesn't or she doesn't understand. It's really tough, but I think that's part of the work. You have to combine failures with achievements, with success. So at the end, it's a balance, and I think you have to learn from that. It's impossible only to success. Well, I don't know that. So failure is good. You have to fail in order to be better, not to improve. No, what I learned is to dream and to try to make the client dream with us. For example, this tower, this elevator, for the mayor, this is my age. He's 30, now he's 42. Okay, but here he was 33. He was very young, a mayor, really, really young. And he told me one day, Carlos, for me, this is the most important project of this town. We have elections in 2 months. We're going to build the structure, and we're going to stop until we win the elections, and then we're going to go with the lattice bricks, because I don't. Okay, at the beginning, no one liked that facade, and now it's a part of heritage, no? It's a part of the history of the town. But at the beginning, when they finished that, they saw it as ugly, as something unfinished. But this mayor is really clever. He understood all the good things, no maintenance, this image of material, raw material, etc. No? We were in Venice Biennale in 2016, and he came to Biennale because he was very proud of the project. He is very proud.
That was the year that this was part of a lot of very specific projects, where Spain actually won the Lion, where you showed what was this in-between projects after 2009, which was the crash in architecture was actually so much more present in Spain than maybe in other countries. Yeah, I think we should conclude here.
Okay.
I think let's just remember, out of many layers and all these in-depth insights, of also all the stories, that maybe we should still dream and ask and then somehow invite our clients, our stakeholders to dream with us in order to create other possible futures. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really good lecture.
Thank you.
Such
Thank you
an amazing lecture.
thank you.
I was so happy, really.
Thank you.
It's really good.
Yeah?
I like it.
Okay? Sure, of course.